Hello everyone. Welcome back to the King YouTube channel.
The Witch Unmasked. Meghan is the most hated royal bride. Many reasons for attack, where all of your snarkiest dreams come true, as I share my deepest, scathingest thoughts about the dull Duchess and her handbag herald. Perhaps if Meghan were like Catherine, diligently performing her role and loving everyone, no one would hate her. But she took a crazier route after marrying Harry. If I were asked now the reasons why Meghan was attacked and criticized, I would have to tell a very long story. One of the reasons why many people criticize Meghan is when the pity party at the end of the African tour. How can any genuine person tour those places, meet those people, see that kind of extreme poverty, and end it with "no one asked me if I'm okay"? When she was surrounded by some of the poorest women and children in the world, those who have suffered AIDS, starvation, poverty, and ignorance, and she winged that nobody had asked her if she was okay, she was there to publicize their suffering, but made clear that not even she cared about their plight, a total failure in every possible way. This woman is surrounded by servants, doctors, a loving husband, personal chefs, pediatricians, nannies, personal trainers, and wealth that very few in the world can even fathom. Women all over the world give birth, struggle with in-laws, and do have the support system she has. Yet this self-absorbed witch could only think about how tough her life was. She tried to gain sympathy at the wrong time. I couldn't even get my head around the quivering lip, poor me act. Immediately after having witnessed true survival situations, those women she met weren't even surviving. Yet, she was on about how surviving wasn't enough. That was the moment she lost me. Same when Meghan and Harry were staying on Vancouver Island. That community embraced them, left them alone, and protected them from the paparazzi. Then, while Harry was in England, Meghan took a private plane to Vancouver to visit an Indigenous women's center, had some photos taken, took her limo back to the plane, and went back to Victoria. All it was a photo. Then people hear that they had skipped out in the middle of the night before the borders closed for COVID. Not a goodbye? Thanks for caring for us. Thanks for your hospitality. Nothing. They wanted to get across the border to the US to be safe from COVID-19. That was rude, entitled, and selfish. When the engagement of Harry and Meghan was announced, the press, as far as I could tell, initially seemed to like her. Shortly after the wedding, I recall seeing newspaper articles that unfavorably compared Meghan to Kate. This was particularly pronounced during Meghan's pregnancy. By the time Harry and Meghan announced they were stepping back from royal duties, the media had been so toxic that I felt sorry for them and thought they were doing the right thing. They were clear they wanted their privacy. Then they left. It turns out that their version of privacy meant we would see more of them than we ever imagined we could. It involved a tell-all interview with the most famous talk show host on the planet, where they dished the dirt on Harry's family and made vague insinuations about racism in the monarchy. It involved a frankly cringeworthy Netflix documentary where Meghan pretended she didn't know what a curtsy was or that Prince Harry was a member of the royal family. The Oprah interview left me with doubts, but when she did that fake and insidious, as in creepy, bow on the Netflix show. Then she took the private royal family business public. The moment she started telling lies, which is every time she opens her mouth. It involved a tell-all book, dishing yet more dirt on Harry's family and exposing, in my opinion, his jealousy of William. Did any of us need to know when and how he lost his virginity? His musings on how upset his ex-girlfriend Chelsea was at having her privacy infringed were tackled by further infringement of her privacy. They picked up an award for exposing racism within the royal family, then gave further interviews where Harry tried to gaslight us all by claiming they had never accused the royal family of racism. By this point, My friends who had traipsed off to Windsor to line the streets for their wedding had well and truly fallen out of love with them. Harry seems lost and completely dependent on Meghan, and that's just not healthy. I don't think any is coming back from publicly trashing his family in the way he has. There are very few people who comprehend what it's like to be raised as a member of the royal family. Harry has lost the support of his closest family and the very people who understand his struggles. He has given up his family and his home for the love of a woman. Let's hope she's worthy of that love. Given what I've seen of her in their interviews and TV series, I suspect she isn't, but I'm happy to be proved wrong. Ridiculous when they fled the monarchy for privacy, then moved to bloody Hollywood, the land of paparazzi, and started giving interviews, writing books, doing podcasts, and making documentaries. I respected them when I thought they left the firm to lead quiet, unassuming lives of peace. That's not what they wanted at all. They have spent the last few years bringing as much attention to themselves as humanly possible and railroading their families directly into the ground. It was so gross to watch it all unfold. Zero respect now and zero sympathy. I hope one day Harry realizes what a mistake the whole affair has been. They're embarrassing. I thought Harry had made an amazing choice for his wife. Beautiful, talented, and socially aware. I even understood when they wanted to step down from royal duties because that is not an easy job. It was the Oprah interview that did it for us. So many lies, so much manipulation. It was such a huge disappointment. Watch the interview. It seemed to consist of two millionaires complaining to another millionaire how tough their lives had been. Meghan and Harry always failed to mention that Meghan was welcomed with open arms from the get-go. Race was not an issue. All William said that Harry should slow down a bit to be sure he was marrying the right person. Look how long William took to put a ring on Catherine. But somehow, race became an issue long after the fact. Did they not have their glasses on before they turned racist? Take some responsibility, Meghan. Show some empathy. Their storytelling always has large holes because it is full of lies, but I must admit she is creative with her stories, to say the least. A couple of hypocritical, stupid, self-entitled tweets. Nothing to do with what race she was. That was never an issue. If it had been an issue, she would never have been accepted in the first place, and the palace would have made it quite clear to Harry that the Queen did not approve and wouldn't agree to the marriage. Her race was and is irrelevant. When her true self came through more and more, a complete lack of manners, plus thinking everyone else was far beneath her meant she treated staff as slaves and seemed to think she was entitled to do so. The more she showed her real self, lazy, rude, a liar, and prepared to do anything to gain money for herself, apart from work, the more people disliked her. A person who is neither a royalist nor a follower of the royal family, even seen through the lies the couple has told. Harry has thrown away everything he had, including a loving family, for the sake of a woman who, it appears as time goes on, to care nothing about him apart from his bank account. He has completely torpedoed his family links. If the marriage breaks down, which I think it will, he may be allowed back after a fashion, but nobody inside or outside his family will ever trust him again. The media called them out on it, and the Markles went into full sulkfest. They did not like for 1 minute being answerable to the British public or media, but everything they are criticized for is their own doing. They become liars, traitors, and greedy for money. And you? When do you think the media wave started criticizing Meghan and Harry? Please comment to let us know. If you watch the video, please like and share.
And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.